Take current live stream. Okay.
Hey, are we on?
I think we are.
We'd be live.
Hey.
I think we'd be live. And we're live on Zoom this evening, folks. Good evening, everybody.
We're Zoom people.
We're trying out a Zoom format tonight. This is something new for us, something new for me for sure.
Yeah, it says on Facebook, a big zoom in the corner.
Yeah, I guess you can't really get rid of that, but we're here anyway. So let's try out this version and we'll see what happens. Okay, well, hello everyone, and welcome to our Sunday night offering of astronomy outreach for September the 25th, or some. Sorry, that's not September the 25th. This is October.
October 2nd, man.
October 2nd. There we go.
Come on.
Yeah,
Wow.
wrong notes up. Yeah.
Duck hunting season.
Hang on. Bear with me. Let's get my right notes up. We'll try again. This is gonna be one of those nights.
No different than the other one.
No different than the other one. Why is it not bringing up my right notes? Goodness gracious.
Hey.
There it is. I think a part of it here. Okay, yes, we do. Okay, all right. Let's try again. Hello.
There we
everyone.
go.
And welcome back to our Sunday offering of astronomy outreach for October the 2nd, the Sunday night astronomy show. Hooray! We made that far.
Hey, we's here.
Yeah, we's here. My name is Chris Kerwin. I'm the creator of the social media channels known as Astronomy by the Bay. I'm an amateur astronomer and a member of the Royal Astronomical Society of Canada. First of all, I'd like to, hey! First of all,
Yeah.
yeah. First of all, I'd like to welcome back our regular co-host and fellow RAS member, Mr. Paul Owen from the Moon Shadow Observatory in beautiful Hampton, New Brunswick. Welcome, Paul.
Hello.
Hey.
It's still sunny where I am, so.
There you go.
Yes,
Enjoy
yeah.
the sun.
Somebody said, I want to be where Paul is. Here we go.
Yes, come on up. Come on up. We'll walk through the trees. It's beautiful.
Yes. I'd like to welcome back our other regular co-host, fellow RAS member, Mr. Mike Powell from the PFO Observatory here in beautiful St. John. Hey, Mike.
Oh.
And it's dark
Oh.
here. The sun has gone down.
It is.
Yeah. Sunny in Hampton and dark in St. John.
Yeah, that's probably normal.
Okay, well, on tonight's episode of the Sunday Night Astronomy Show, well, what does it take to capture views of the night sky? Sometimes all we need is binoculars, but there are many times that we'd like a much closer look. And there's the whole art of astrophotography on top of that. This can involve dragging lots of equipment to a suitable site. Well, if you have the space, time, and the funds, there is another option, building a backyard observatory. On tonight's discussion segment, Mike is going to walk us through his challenges and solutions to building his own observatory. Also tonight, Vinyl Bud has promised to return with another fine binocular target of the week, and we're introducing a new segment tonight called the Lunar Challenge. Mike is going to give us more information on that a little bit later. Rosanna has also provided another fun facts episode that Paul will deliver for us tonight. And he's also presenting another of his astrophotography tips of the week in a different kind of a format. But and I'll have a quick view of what to watch for in the week sky coming up. And I'll have all of your wonderful photo submissions shared. And I'll be running Zoom here in the background to make sure everything's working okay. So we'll see how it goes. Anyway, this is a family-friendly interactive live broadcast, so things can happen. So for those of you joining us from my YouTube channel or Facebook page, we are happy to try to answer all of your astronomy questions here in real time as well. And of course, we'd like to welcome back all those who have been joining us through the local Rogers TV network. Thank you for your support. Okay, so let's get started then, guys. Where am I at? Tanya says, oh, sorry, Tanya, I'm in St. John as well.
I can
always
throw a rock
introduce you
and hit
guys
his
where you
house.
are, but yeah, there you go.
Literally.
Let's hope we don't. So let's get started then with tonight's program and discussion around how to build your own observatory.
Oh,
So
it's
that'd
me,
be you,
Mom.
Mike. It's your
It's me, Mom.
Me, Mom.
Meemaw.
Host is disabled participant sharing.
Oh, no.
Yeah, Chris has to allow you to do things.
we're done.
One participant share time. Event sharing options. Let's see, all participants here. Just try this, Mike. Let's try.
There we go.
There we go. You're on. There we go.
Looks like we're up. There should be a picture of a little house showing up on the screen here somewhere.
It is, and I'm just a second to be sure it's shown. There it is. Perfect.
All right, see if we can get through this. So, building my home observatory. Next slide. Why build an observatory was a question I had to ask myself. Well, you don't have to set up every time you want to view. It's always there. You only have to polar align once, which is a godsend. You only have to deal with cable management once. And if anybody that tries to take your equipment out and set up and haul all their gear to do some astrophotography, you'll know exactly what I mean by cable management. You don't have to worry about cooling down the optics because they're out there all the time. You keep everything in one place, and guess what? It's just plain cool to have. That's all I can say about that. So this picture, if you want to try to find me anyway, this picture was taken in 1976 of where I live. And believe it or not, I'm in Bortle class 5 sky, but I still get lots of good viewing when I'm doing my observing out in the observatory. Finding a spot in the backyard was kind of cool. At the time, the trees were a lot lower than they are today, but I decided way back here at the back of the lawn is where I would put my observatory, if you can see my mouse moving there. And it's far away from the house, so I don't get the heat coming, waves and stuff coming off the roof of the house. And it worked well for me sticking it back there where that old fence is. So how did I start? Well, I thought I'll dig a hole in the ground. I went down 5 feet to make sure I get past the frost line. Used 7 bags of concrete, some rebar to keep it all together as one great big block. Then I took 4 pieces of threaded rod that mounted to a 12 by 12 template of my pier that I was going to bolt to that. And stuck it together, slid it into the nice wet concrete and waited till it dry. And then I just popped the template off and there were my bolts stuck into the concrete ready for my pier. Then I went out and bought a whole bunch of gravel for my driveway. And with a shovel and a wheelbarrow and many trips, I spread it out around the backyard where that pedestal concrete was poured down here at the corner. I made it 15 foot by 9 foot. I let it settle for the winter, added more gravel to it in the spring, and then I was ready to start going from there. Then I thought, okay, what do I want to build? I thought, well, I came to a decision on an 8 foot by 12 foot. It's a normal standard size for a backyard garden shed. And when it was done, the whole goal was to make it look like a garden shed and not an observatory. But being 8 by 12, and also in this corner on one end, it allowed me to have a space in the future if I wanted it when I was building it for a possible 4 foot by 8 foot warm room. So I could put a heater in there, my computer's in there at one end and be sealed away in a nice warm room in the middle of winter. The whole floor was built on a 2 by 6 construction, normal stuff, 16-inch on center. The other good thing about doing it 8 by 12 is I only needed 3 sheets of plywood to finish it. Instead of, 4 or 5 sheets or different cuts, 3 full sheets of plywood laid down flat, screwed in, and the floor was ready to go. And there I am, way back when, my younger days, testing the views. Couldn't wait to build it, so just had to get out and set up on it. And I thought that was pretty cool. My wife laughed at me, but hey, you got to test what you're building. Then it came to the pier. Well, the pier for my observatory was my own design. I had it built by Burke Industrial here in St. John. It's a 6-inch by 6-inch square steel tube with 1/4-inch wall thickness. The bottom plate is a 12 by 12, the exact same size as the template that I used when I poured the concrete and stuck that template in the ground. The top is 8-inch by 8-inch 1/4-inch sheet metal, or 1/4-inch plate, sorry. And I used stainless steel threaded rods and bolts for the top so that I could adjust it and make sure it's level or adjust it whichever way I needed. I had it fully gusseted on the top and bottom to help stop vibrations and stuff. Stuck a bubble center in there so that I knew the pier was pointing straight up and down instead of leaning over to one side. And I painted the whole thing black because you want as dark as you can have in your observatory with no light, no reflections. And I took it out and bolted the pier into the ground. Again, it was bolted to the 3/4 stainless steel threaded rod. I used washers on everything, and I also used some rubber washers in there too in the bottom to take up any extra vibration. It settles down extremely fast if I bump into it. And you can see it was set off center from the center of the floor, just in case I did want to build that warm room on the east end. Now I don't have a warm room anymore. I don't need one, but I built it for a warm room. Then I started building the walls, plain and simple, 2 by 4 inch walls, 16 inch again on center, and everything was good. That's one of my sons helped me throw it together that day. You can see the pier there covered up with a plastic bag. What didn't take us long, we got 2 more walls added to it. They're just plain simple 2 by 4 construction, nothing fancy. And then we put up the 3rd wall, and I got a window from the Restore store. It's an Alsco 4-pane window. I actually picked it up for $5 at the Restore store. And I cut out for the door frame in here, or made sure we had a room for the door frame. How's that? So that's all framed up with the window in. She was ready to go a step further. It was time to put the walls on. So it's just a 4x8 OSB, 1/2 inch, all screwed on nice and tight. The window fit perfect. The door holes cut. We're ready to go. And I started sticking my outrigger poles in the ground. So you can see here the roof supports out on the end. I come out 12 feet because it was going to be a 12-foot roof that swings off because it's an 8 by 12 shed. So I come out 12 feet and drove the 2 ends for my outriggers into the ground. Then I thought, okay, how do I want my roof to move? And this one I laid in bed for a long time trying to come up with an idea. I thought of using garage door track. That didn't interest me that much because I knew my roof was going to be heavy. It works great for a garage door, but my roof is 1,200 pounds now that it's done, and I don't think that would have held it. I thought of using channel, buying steel channel, and using the wheels off of some shopping carts that you find around the neighborhood. Excuse me, but I also thought, something that might hold water, and in the wintertime it might hold ice. And if I go to roll the roof off, it'll ride up on the ice and it'll go right off the side. I didn't want to do that. But I was looking around and I saw a warehouse. The warehouse had shelving that would roll back and forth. And I looked down and it was sitting on wheels, sitting on angle iron. I said, how do you do that? And somebody told me they were called V-casters. So I went down to Storage Systems in Lorneville, and sure enough, they had these V-casters. And what they are is they're shaped like a V in the center, and it sits on the angle iron. And I used 1.5 inch by 1.5 inch by 1/4 inch angle iron. And I screwed that on just basically with screws and washers to hold the angle iron. And these V-casters will sit on top. The advantage to the V-casters that I found was it will roll left and right. So the roof will roll on and off, but it won't shift the other way. So I got no movement side to side. It just rolls on and rolls off, and no movement side to side of any kind. The other part was snow and ice don't stick to it. They just fall right off. Excuse me. So I thought, yeah, that's the way I'm going to go. So I bought 10 V-casters. I put 5 on each side. They're good to 1,000 pounds a piece. Here comes my coughing fit. And that's how I built it. I put them on 2x6s, and away I went. Now the views. When I built the observatory originally, you can see there's the east, the north, the west, and so on. And nice views. Excuse me for a second while I get rid of this piece of phlegm. Then I decided to build the roof. Well, I put the rafters all together. It's just a 4x4 going across the top. 2x4s come up off the rails that have the V-casters. Put it all together. And I thought, before I put the roof on, I'm going to roll this sucker and see if it works. Because if it doesn't, I got to start all over. And guess what? It rolled off and worked like a charm. I thought, okay, I'll keep going from there. But I also wanted to keep the wind and rain out of this observatory or shed at the same time. So I'm going to build the whole thing with a 12-inch overhang. So it overhangs both sides and or all 4 sides by 12 inches. and that keeps the rain and leaves and other things out. You can see here, after I nailed the roof down and trimmed it all up, there it is. The overhang works really, really well. No rain gets in. I get the odd leaf. I have had some snow get in there, but I have open eaves, so I could stop that if I put something in there, but I don't bother. And again, I rolled the roof off to see if it worked, because if it didn't work, I had a lot of work to do to start all over again. So at that point, the door frame was installed. The roof support started coming out, and I started beefing them up with extra 4x4s because I didn't want any movement once I got it built. The cross members and stuff were added to keep the outriggers from shifting. And then I added some stops at the end of the outrigger so I didn't roll the roof right off the end into the neighbor's garden. So that was a good idea to put stops on there. So I just push the roof over now until I hear thunk and it comes to a stop and I'm good to go. And there's just a closer shot of it all done. You can see, you know, the roof is on. There's the outrigger coming out. There's a stop right up here in the corner on the end, and that keeps the roof from falling over into the neighbor's bushes and stuff. Here, I just wanted to show this shot. You can see how the V-casters roll right along that angle iron. Nice. They don't shift left or right. They just roll on and off. And all the extra beefing up I did on the outriggers to keep them from moving. And there's the 4x4 inch stops on the end. I've since taken those off and put a big piece of angle iron on there and bolted it down so it keeps the roof from rolling right off when I'm opening the roof. Another one I came across and I thought this is a darn good idea was we just had a hurricane recently roll through and we're proud of having them in the fall. So I thought I better do something to tie this roof down in case it gets windy. So I bought a couple of turnbuckles and I basically both put a loop up top and a loop on the observatory itself and one on the roof. I joined it together with a turnbuckle and tightened it down. I put one at each end. And I'll tell you what, I've had all kinds of windstorms and my roof has not moved an inch. And it's nothing to walk out, untwist those with my hands, unhook them from the roof and then roll the roof open. So I'm suggesting if you do build an observatory, get yourself a couple of turnbuckles and mount them on the end just in case you're in a windy area. So next point, I added shingles because I did it like that instead of a tin roof that's nice and light. I wanted it to look like a shed in the backyard. I didn't want to draw attention, you know, from the neighbors of the neighborhood that it was something different. It just looks like a shed with a funny outrigger on the side. And then I added a 6x12 or 6 foot by 12 foot deck on the front, just in case somebody wanted to come over and set up. There's a platform there for them to set up on. And there it is, completed, ready for the scope at the time. I stole this door from a basement closet downstairs and I put it on, and I've since changed it because that was a hollow door and it didn't work out very well. And there it is with the roof open and the roof closed. So everything worked. I was a very happy clam. I didn't have to really go in and do any fine tuning or change anything. And it hasn't moved since. But there it is cleaned up with the new door on it. The deck all cleaned up with some flowers that my wife threw out there to make it look pretty. And I just tell the neighbors that I roll the roof off and have a barbecue underneath when it's raining. They scratch their head and look at me funny, but hey, I get away with it. On the inside, just quickly, there as you can see, this is the scope I have out there now. That's my pedestal here, the top of my pedestal. There's my EQ6R mount from Skywatcher, my Orion 110 ED that I bought off of Paul. And on top of that, it's an Orion 80mm ST. On the back is my 294 camera on the main scope. And then I'm using a ZWO 224 camera on the Orion as my guide scope. And that's my system in there. And that comes down, it's wired into, this is my computer out there with 3 screens. I use one screen for the star chart software. I use one screen for the camera software. And the third screen I either use for guiding or my actual, the software that runs the scope mount and all of that good stuff. I'll pull it up and I can adjust it from there. And then I thought, what the heck, this is still, I didn't build a warm room, but I built a garage with an upstairs. And part of the reason I built the upstairs, I hardwired the whole works up to my room up here where I sit, where I'm at now doing the show. And I went to 4 screens and I sit up here nice and warm in the winter time with the windows closed and the heat on. And the 4 screens, the top one there, that's what I use for my charts, star chart software. The center one down here is my camera software and Sharp Cap. On the right-hand side over here is my guiding software. It's PhD2 guiding software, so the scope stays on target when I'm doing photography. And then over here is my power box and my focuser software and my mount software. So it all clicks in together, and I run it. I hardwired it up here with like an Ethernet cable, and I haven't had a glitch since. I tried Wi-Fi, but I found the Wi-Fi was glitchy, and so I just hardwired it straight from the observatory up into the room here. And then since they built the new Shannocks in Milledgeville, the water drainage has been the same. So I almost renamed it the PFO Island Observatory. But as you can see, it's out of the water. It didn't get any water in it whatsoever. So I was quite pleased about that. It's the high spot in the backyard. Couldn't build on top of a mountain, but I did get it at the high spot in the lawn. And then some people ask me my crest. What's the PFO Observatory crest stand for? Well, the PFO, much to most people's demise, stands for pretty far out, not something else. It's got a picture of the sun on it because I do solar observing. Got a picture of the moon on it because I look at the moon a lot. You got the stars. It's got a telescope because it's an observatory. And then this design here that I put on it was redshift galaxies and blue shift galaxies, whether they're coming away from me or coming towards me or moving away from me. So that was the design of my crest. And that is how I built my home observatory in the backyard. And they're not buried in the backyard, they're buried under the observatory.
There you go. All right.
Excuse me.
Amazing observatory, Mike, and Paul. Yours is copied a lot similar, I guess, to Mike's.
Yep, they're both roll off, so.
Yep.
Now, somebody did ask, amazing, Mike, how does the mount connect to the pedestal? Just the center bolt? Just the center bolt?
4 bolts.
4
One
bolts.
in each corner of the 12-inch plate that I had. And then I designed the pier itself with a 12-inch plate on the bottom. The holes lined up, the same holes that just slid on. So what I did is I come up about 1.5 inches off the ground. I put in a nut, then I put a rubber washer, then I put a stainless steel washer, then I put the pedestal on, then I put a rubber washer, a stainless steel washer, and then a nut on top to hold it all together in 4 corners on the pedestal.
Okay.
If that answers that.
I think it does. What would be your biggest challenge maybe that you ran into?
The trees grew.
Trees grew.
And did they ever?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
15 years makes a big difference from when you started with a bush in the backyard that turns out to be a tree in the backyard 15 years later.
True enough. So have a spot where you've got wide open spaces again.
Yeah, or the ability to cut them down. They're too late for me to hack them down. They're full mature trees now.
Right. Looking for other questions. I don't see any other questions, but thanks for that, Mike. Great view of what's happening inside there. And like someone said, I love this design. Very straightforward and extremely effective. It sure is.
Yeah, it works for me, and it's been working for a good long time without any issues. I was surprised that the roof hasn't fallen off it, though, because I know who built it.
Both of you've got the right idea. I mean, you can both do it from inside your houses, right? Paul, you're connected to the observatory, so you don't need a warm room outside. You've got your warm room in the house, so
Right.
Yeah,
it makes an
yeah. The thing that I find with mine, like Mike's got 8-foot ceilings, I think, or roof wall.
No, I'm 6'6" to my roof.
6'6". Mine are quite low. They're about as high as me, so about 2 feet high.
Yeah.
And but what I find is I get a lot of insects in there. So if you're going to have an observatory, don't be afraid of spiders and stuff because you get a lot of them in there.
I've had a lot of.
In fact, in my pier that I've got a rat's cage on mine. Like, in other words, a space between the top of the pier and the plate that the mount sits on. And I found a whole family of mice in there this spring.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I finally get wasp nests.
Yeah, those too.
Up in the rafters. Yeah.
Okay, I got a question here from my wife, actually. Would like to know what you guys think the total cost was.
Well, surprisingly enough for mine, what I did was I started out by buying the OSB top sheets and saving it because I didn't care if they were, what the color was, because I knew I'd be covering them up with siding. So I went to Kent's and Home Depot and stuff and said, can I buy your top sheets, which are the ones that sit, on the top of the pile out in the rain and stuff. They turn gray, but they're still a perfectly good piece. So you can buy those cheaper. And I also found out that Home Depot, of all places, sells 2x4s at a short length at a lower price. They were, instead of being 96 inch, they're 93 inch. And nobody uses 93 inch. So they sell them at the time. The price was way down. And so I saved a lot of money just waiting and buying my wood in advance when I found the deal. So
There you go. So you
what
can
made it for
certainly
me.
save money. I like that idea, and I guess it really doesn't matter what the cost is, does it really, guys? I mean, really, you know.
Not really.
Well,
Not really, no.
if you're, I mean, what it cost to build 3 years ago is a lot different when it costs to build now.
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
So, yeah, so I mean, you can, if you want to go by, what it cost to build quite a while ago, I got mine put together for around 3,500.
that's pretty reasonable, really.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my
That's
goal,
the price of a good telescope, really, so.
my goal 15 years ago was to build it for less than $1,500, and I think I succeeded back then.
Yes, sir, yeah. So it's off to the resort to try to find stuff or take a look out in the
Yeah,
woods.
well, Mike, how long ago did you build yours, Mike?
It's almost 15 years now.
Yeah, see, mine's only been 3, so there's 12 years in the difference in the cost of mine and yours is actually bigger than mine. Mine's only a 10 by 10.
Yeah.
So,
As my goal was to build a shed and just make the roof roll off.
yeah,
Right.
So,
No, Mike, Robert says, yes, but how does the mount connect to the top plate? Yes, that's
that's,
next.
I used the center bolt off my mount.
Okay,
On my tripod, there's a bolt that comes through your tripod to hold your mount on, and I use the same bolt in the center of the pier to come up through a hole and hold the mount on.
okay. Derek says, I'm 6'6" as well, so I know what plans I can use should I ever get this deep into it. There you go. Okay, that's awesome. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Mike, for that. Good lead into what you need to do to have an observatory for this time of year, especially, right? Nice and warm season coming up for you guys.
Oh, yeah. It was nice to sit in the warm room, I'll tell you that.
You bet. Okay, let's go from there then to an Astro talk. Paul?
all right.
Topic
Just
to
give me
cover?
1 second here. I just gotta stop something from trying to work. Oh my good golly. I was calibrating the auto guider. Good stuff. I'll let it do that. Okay, let me just move the screen back to where it should be. Oh, and it won't. Why won't it do that now? Try it this way, maybe. There we go. Okay, so actually what I'm going to talk about tonight is it's not really got to do with a photo tip, I guess, unless you're wanting to do something. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn my lights on and I'm going to turn off my show captions, share screen. I'm going to move this thing all together. And I'm just trying to find my video settings and background and filters. None. Okay, there. I'm just going to turn my lights on. And I just want to show something that someone not made for me, had printed for me. I did a shot of the North American Nebula, or not the North American, but the Hard Nebula. And then I did a panorama of it. And so on one end of it was the fish head. And then of course, Lot 15 was in the center. And I did it in narrow band. So the colors aren't red, green, and blue. They're the show colors, which is hydrogen, alpha, and sulfur. Hydrogen, oxygen, and sulfur. And so this photographer in the area, he's quite a well-known photographer, decided that he wanted a copy of it and he wanted to print it for himself to put on his wall. And he's got some pretty prominent photographers up on his wall. I thought, you gotta be kidding me. It's just a space picture. But anyway, he was that impressed with it that he got it blown up super big and he mounted it on his wall and it looks absolutely incredible. And he's even got a light over it. You know how when you walk in, you're getting seen displays and there's a light on the wall. Well, this one's even got that. Am I sharing my screen?
No.
No, I don't need to, I guess. Can
Okay.
you make me bigger?
I
Because I'm just
don't-
talking in a little corner.
I see you on fairly big on the screen.
Am
I don't know how to make
am I
any
display size
larger.
or am I tiny?
No, there's three of us, but we're
That's
fairly
as big as
large.
I can get?
I think so. I don't know how else to do it.
All right, well, good enough. We'll try that.
Okay.
This is
We still got a good view
we
of you,
need
Paul.
space to see, to do this, but in any event, so I guess what it comes down to is he had one printed for me. And I don't know if I can get it so that the light's not,
Oh, yeah.
so this is, tilted right here.
Wow.
Beautiful.
Trying to get it so I don't have those lights on it. That's why I needed the bigger screen.
You can still see it. It looks beautiful, man.
I'm just trying to, oh, geez. Which one is it that's doing it to me? I guess they all are. Just give 1 second.
Okay.
Stupid lights. There, try that. There we go. Backwards these things. No, now you can't even see it. There we go. Oh, you can't see it. It's not good enough. Anyway, trust me, it's Malot 15. All you can see is the screens and stuff being, I have to put the light back on. I got no choice, I guess, in order to be able to see it properly. Okay, so you can kind of look at one side and we'll go to the other, I guess.
Yeah.
There's the fish head. There's Malot 15 in the middle. Of course, that's the heart of the Heart Nebula. And of course, the back end of the heart with all that stuff. Like I say, you can't really see really good here, but anyway, so that's what he had done. So he actually did one for me. So this is my first Astro image ever made and framed, and I mean really well framed.
Wow, nice.
This large. I've never had one done before. So
That's beautiful.
yeah, so it come out. Maybe we'll do it this way.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Yeah, it came out really, really nice. It was just gorgeous. So anyway, so it was kind of nice to have someone go through all that trouble, and someone who's as a prominent photographer as himself to do that. And the reason I want to show it was that, you know, if you can get your images so that they're super, super clean and really, really nice to look at, when you blow them up on your computer screen, everything is clean, good backgrounds, nice round stars. When you blow them up to that size, they're stunning. And I had no idea, because it's the first time I've ever seen one that big. So anyway, so that's what I wanted to show this week. It's kind of a show and tell rather than a.
Yeah, that works.
Well worth it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Nice,
Awesome.
Paul. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe we'll go from there to a what's up then. I'm going to try to share my screen. Actually, I'm going to bring up the presentation first of all, because I think I have to do that before I share my screen. I'm learning this as we go, guys, so sorry, but okay. Let's flip screens.
Yeah, we all are.
Yeah, we are. Let me see if I can get this share screen.
Light back in my face.
I'm going to share this one, I guys. Now you guys should be able to see something there.
What's up this week?
Yeah, now I just got to find out where my other part is. No, I think I can
The
just
green
do it this way.
thumb.
Okay, what's up this week? Let's take a quick look. I think I started out with, no, hang on 1 second. I started out with Wednesday, October the 5th. Are we still there?
Yep.
What are you seeing now? The whole thing or just part of it?
Yep, see all of it.
Okay. Wednesday, October the 5th, our moon near Saturn. So Wednesday evening, these aren't in the particular, probably not in the right order, are they? 1 second. Oh, here we go. Yeah, sorry. I didn't have them right order. I'll try this one. Now what are you seeing? I can look at
Tonight's our first quarter moon.
Okay. I want to show that in another order. Okay. Bear with me just for a second, please. Yeah, we're gonna go this way. I had one slide in the wrong spot there. I think we can go with this anyway. Okay, tonight, first quarter moon. Our moon is at first quarter, 1/4 of the way through its lunar cycle. Many amazing features are easily viewed through this phase, such as the large Maria, mountain ranges, and numerous craters. Now, these are best viewed along the line we call the terminator, that line that separates day and night on the moon. So lots of features are revealed when you get closer to this terminator line. Tomorrow night, we have the lunar straight wall. One of the amazing features on the moon is one that's become visible on Monday evenings called the lunar straight wall. Now, the straight wall, known as Rupus recta, is a linear fault on the moon in the southeastern part of Marinubium. Well, now, the name is Latin for straight cliff, although it's more commonly called the straight wall. Now, this is a 110-kilometer fault line, and it's the most well-known escarpment on the moon, and it's a popular target for amateur astronomers. Now, when you view it when we're at first quarter like this, the sun is shining in from the right-hand side here and casting a shadow on the left. But when we get to third quarter moon, we see the same feature, although we don't see this line because the sun is coming in from the opposite side, and this is at a lower elevation. So you only see it during the first quarter phase of the moon. October 3rd, 5th, and 6th. Now, Jupiter's red spot. Since Jupiter does rotate about every 10 hours, we don't get a chance to see the red spot always, but we do have 3 opportunities this coming week. Tomorrow evening, the red spot will begin to appear at 9:32 and disappear at 11:32. On Wednesday, it appears at 11:10 and exits at 1:10 in the morning on Thursday. It will also reappear on Thursday evening at 7:02 and disappear at 9:02. And all these times are at Atlantic Daylight Time. The Great Red Spot is a persistent high-pressure region in the atmosphere of Jupiter, approximately twice the size of Earth, producing an anticyclonic storm that is the largest in the solar system. That's where it is in relation to Jupiter. On Wednesday night, our moon nears Saturn. So on Wednesday evening, look for the waxing gibbous moon as it greets the ring beauty Saturn. The moon and Saturn will appear just 4 degrees apart, easily visible together in the field of view of 10 by 50 binoculars. That makes a nice photo op right there. The opportunity to capture the 2 of them. That should say Saturn, not Jupiter. On Friday evening, Mercury's at its greatest elongation. Now, little Mercury is normally an elusive planet since it only takes 88 days to orbit our sun. It spends lots of time near the sun and out of our line of sight. Not so this month, where Mercury will be at its best viewing. Mercury is at its greatest elongation or farthest distance from the sun from our point of view on Friday, but it should be easily visible in our morning sky before sunrise for another week or more, appearing at a magnitude minus 0.41 by Friday and increasing to magnitude minus 1.04 by the 19th. The lower the number, the brighter the magnification. Not quite as bright as Venus or Jupiter for sure, but still visible. This also means that when it reaches maximum elongation, it will be lower each night as we go down this way throughout the next couple of weeks. But it'll also be brighter as it gets closer to the horizon. That's because that ecliptic path that we talked about, the path that the sun and moon and planets take, is fairly steep in the morning sky right now. On Saturday, moon Jupiter, there we go. So Saturday evening, look for the waxing moon as it greets massive Jupiter. The 2 celestial objects should appear about 3 degrees apart in this case, and should easily fit together in the field of view of 10 by 50 binoculars. Another great photo opportunity. Spinning around here to Saturday again, October the 8th, the transit of let's just say Europa. I did this one real quick, I guess. Also on Saturday evening, look for Jupiter as the water ice world of Europa transits across the face. There it is there. The transit begins at 21:46 and ends at 00:19, which is the next morning, of course. Europa's shadow begins its transit at 10:25 and ends at 47 minutes after midnight. So Europa traverses across the planet first, and then the shadow follows behind it. There's another one as well on with Io on Sunday morning. Next Sunday, October the 9th, is a full hunter's moon. On Sunday evening, we're treated to another full moon, the full hunter's moon. Now, moonrise will take place at 6:59 Atlantic time in the east, exactly 12 hours after moonset, exactly 12 hours in the west. Now, the shallow ecliptic in the evening at this time of year presents a couple of conditions. A moonrise takes place only about 20 to 30 minutes later each night, instead of the usual 50 to 60 minutes later. Now, also, the low angle of the ecliptic, the path that the moon and planets take across the sky, means that moonlight will have to peer through the thicker atmosphere for a longer period of time. which will keep it a nice orange color for longer, just like we did for the harvest moon there just a short while ago. So when our moonrise does come up, and actually for the few days before the full moon, it'll be rising about a half an hour earlier. So it's not going to be much of a different moon over the next over those few days as we get closer to the hunter's moon. Say from Thursday on till Sunday, it should appear almost the same size. Now, this is something I wanted to talk about a little bit about. All week long, keep an eye on the sun, not literally, of course, but one of the biggest sunspots in the year is emerging around the sun's northeastern limb right here. AR 3112, it's called, has more than a dozen dark cores scattered across 130,000 kilometers of solar terrain, or about 10 times the diameter of Earth right now, making it an easy target for backyard telescopes using their projection method. So you project it back on a piece of paper. Also, the sun just strobed Earth with a pair of strong M-class solar flares in quick succession on October the 1st and the 2nd. These flares registered M5.9 and M8.7. Their second explosion only decimal points away from being an X-class flare. That's the strongest type. Now, if this progression continues, an X flare could occur before the weekend is over. So lots of activity happening on the sun right now, possibly opportunities for aurora coming up too. All this recent activity can lead to better chances for viewing aurora. The difficult part right now is that our moon is back in the night sky, which creates more light pollution. But if these areas result in larger X-class solar flares, aurora may still be visible. And I'll post updates on my social media channels if there are warnings for aurora coming up. Also, I'd like to draw attention, as always, to Lisa's Lookup, Astronomy and More. Lisa puts out this great chart. Here's her October chart. You can go to her site at Ruby Moonbeams on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter and take a look at this chart. She lists all the events here. She lists the date of the event, the peak times, when's the best time to see them, and what you need to view it with, either naked eye, binoculars, or a telescope. And finally, I was a member of the St. John Astronomy Club and the Royal Astronomical Society of Canada, the New Brunswick chapter. We put out this calendar every month or every 6 weeks or so that are on it. And it lists all the events that are coming up over the next, right up till November the 12th. So I guess about the next 6 weeks or so. And this is where I get most of the information when I put together my WhatsApp chart. So that one I go to quite a bit. So, and this one I kind of found out. I like that one. So we didn't slam into an asteroid, and that was the result. Yeah. Anyway, that's what's up this week.
Oh man,
that was quite a mission, eh? That the DART mission.
Awesome. Yeah,
smashing into an asteroid at 6 kilometers a second, and hey, let's send something out there 11 million kilometers away and smash into it and see what we can do.
We can hit it.
Unreal. How they plan all that. Okay, we're going to go from that then to Vinyl Bud.
I know, bud. Yeah, we should have a Vinyl Bud coming up.
We do.
We got it right. All right, binocular target of the week this week is, because we've been talking about it tonight a little bit, the first quarter moon. That's my cat, by the way, for anybody that wants to know. First quarter moon. Now, I got a picture of us in the way here. First quarter moon. The moon is 90 degrees away from the sun in the sky, and it's half illuminated by our point, or from our point of view. We call it the first quarter because the moon has traveled about a quarter of the way around the Earth since the new moon. So there's why it's called first quarter. Where do I find it in the sky? Well, Paul can't find it now because it's sunk down below the roof of his house. But if you stepped outside at 9 o'clock and look 205 degrees south-southwest, there will be a quarter moon right up in the sky if you don't have trees and stuff in the way. Now, what will you see? Well, the moon phase for Sunday, October the 2nd, 2022, the current moon phase, October the 2nd, 2022, is a waxing crescent, or a waning crescent, sorry. On this day, the moon is 6.76 days old and 46.44% illuminated with a tilt of, and I don't know where they got this, but 129.409 degrees. The approximate distance from the Earth to the moon is 307,465.02 kilometers. That's how they could hit a target that far away. They are very precise. And for those who would like, the moon's sign is in Capricorn. 10 by 50 binoculars. What will you see? Well, you look up, you see a nice moon. It looks like it's about half. You should be able to see some earth shine with it. And it's a pretty sight, the first quarter moon. Compared to the full moon, well, it's about the size of the full moon, only half. So it shouldn't be hard to spot a good pair of binoculars. And Rupus Recta, the straight wall. I don't know if you get that one, but anyway.
Oh,
That's Binocular Target of the Week by Bino Bud.
Awesome.
yeah.
Oh, terrible,
That was something else.
terrible.
Uh,
Okay.
Why?
Mhm.
But why?
But why? Yeah. You wonder where they come up with these names, right?
Yeah,
You
exactly.
do, for sure.
Oh, my goodness.
Okay, Paul, we're gonna go from there to let's get out of that topic quick. We're
Yeah.
gonna go to a Rosanna's fun fact.
All right. So let me just share my screen here. I got so many screens I can share. I wonder why. That's incredible. Okay, so we're going to have this week's no sound.
Dun, 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 dun.
Nothing's
Oh.
working today.
Live, and we're live again, yeah. Oh,
Rosanna's
there it is.
fun fact.
Hey!
All right, can you see the screen?
Yes,
Okay, good.
yeah, all we see when you're talking is we see you up in the top right-hand corner and we see the full screen, like, so that's
Okay,
no problem, yeah.
All right. Okay, so this week, Rosanna writes another incredible fun fact, as usual. So she writes, "Hi, Paul. By now, everyone interested in asteroidal, that's an interesting word, smash ups, has watched DART impact Dimorphos. The Italian Space Agency, LICIA Cube, or Lycia Cube, spacecraft was nearby to the impact and captured these dramatic photos of the immediate after effects." So there was the first one.
Mhm.
And in the next weeks and months, there could be even more images of DART's, or there will be more images of DART's impact and aftermath thanks to the Lycia Cube. Lycia Cube, or the Light Italian CubeSat for imaging of asteroids, hitched a ride to the Didymus system with DART to document the historic event. Here's the other photograph, by the way. Look at that. Oh my
Wow.
God. See if I can make that bigger for you. There you go. So the mystery of whether this mission of knocking Dimorphos orbital period from 11.9 to 11.8 hours will not be revealed right away. Ground-based telescopes are vital in tracking Dimorphos' orbit around Didymus. It will be a few weeks before the orbit period can be determined. As for investigating the actual area of the impact, the ESA's HERA mission in 2026 will thoroughly inspect the scene. Now, if you're a fan of fast and faster stats, spacecraft can reach astonishing speeds. The NASA's DART spacecraft hit the asteroid Dimorphos. It impacted at a blistering 6.6 kilometers per second, 4 miles per second, or 14,400 miles an hour. Whichever measurement you like best, the objective smithereens could be used. In other words, or in other news rather, announced this week, you could help name an exoplanet. The International Astronomical Union has launched an international competition to name 20 exoplanets, including some of James Webb Space Telescope's first exoplanet targets. The IAU's aim with this competition is also to spread awareness of exoplanet research. To compete in the naming challenge, teams also have to host an outreach event to teach the public about exoplanets. And you can learn more about it on, and there's a couple of websites that I will leave on in comments. Since our club just held a successful outreach event at the Irving Nature Park, I think this new project is doable. And in keeping with the exoplanet excitement, James Webb Space Telescope has found carbon dioxide in an exoplanet's atmosphere, and this is big news. The Space Telescope's discovery of CO2 in the atmosphere of a gas giant exoplanet may indicate that it will be able to detect molecules rather than a single element in the atmospheres of terrestrial exoplanets, which has never been done before. These bodes well for the study. This bodes well for the study of exoplanets, particularly those with Earth-like characteristics. Each new discovery connected to exoplanets builds excitement for future explorations. Colorizing this Earth-like planet is a chance for us humans to start over without ruining the place this time. I know, right? Idiots we were. And that is this week's.
Almost here.
Rosanna.
There it is.
Unpacked.
Yay!
Thank you so much, Rosanna. That was, yeah, I mean, this, and now it goes on, right?
Yeah,
You know, we've done it, we've hit it, and let's see if we moved it.
yeah, that's the whole
And then the exoplanet thing, that's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
Always.
Oh, exoplanets, yeah, I mean, the discovery of exoplanets now is just taking off at an accelerated pace, right?
Yeah.
There's theory now that there is at least one planet around every star in the galaxy. This would be 400 billion planets.
Yeah. But I mean,
just our galaxy
CO2, the CO2 on a,
Yeah,
you know, like this is pretty cool stuff.
yep.
Come
Awesome.
on.
Last
No,
last
come on,
week
we find
talked about
something.
this, and I got an email, and I think the email quoted me saying, "This is groundbreaking technology."
Yeah.
Well, I'm not surprised that you'd say that, not at all,
That was
really.
Kurt, by the way. So
Yeah, yeah.
thanks for.
Yeah, you and Kurt should get together
He
and
picked
form a
up on
comedy
it.
show.
Thank you very much, Rosanna.
Thank you, Rosanna. Thank you very much as well, that's for sure. Okay, let's go to Mike's Lunar Challenge next then. And then we're gonna do some photos and close out the show, so. Mike's got a suggestion here for a Lunar Challenge. What's it all about, Mike? Tell us about it. There we go.
See if it pops up on the screen here eventually.
Yeah, it's there.
So binocular or telescope moon crater challenge. So what I decided to do is I'm going to pick a crater and I'm not going to show you where it is. You're going to have to do the research and find it. Then look through, or, get a pair of binoculars or telescope, look at it. If you choose to take a picture or something, that would be fantastic, and send it to me and see if you can find the particular crater or feature on the moon that I'm talking about. And I'll let you know exactly where it is in next week's show. So binocular moon crater challenge this week is going to be Eudoxus. So Eudoxus has a diameter of about 67 kilometers and a depth of about 3.4 kilometers. The rim of Eudoxus has a series of terraces on the inner wall and a slightly warm ramparts about the exterior. It lacks a single central peak, but has a cluster of low hills and at the midpoint on the floor. The remainder is relatively level. So this is what Eudoxus looks like. You're gonna have to do your research, find out where it's supposed to be on the moon, and then view it. And if you photograph it, that's even better. And then let us know what you found. And next week, I'll show you exactly on the moon where it's at, but that's the challenge. I'm not gonna give it up this week. So see if you can get out there and find Eudoxus.
Okay, so where
That's
do we
my-
want?
That's
where do we
my
want the
challenge.
messages? Where do we want the messages to go to? Come to Sunday Night Astronomy Show at gmail.com?
Yeah, we'll send them there.
Send them into Sunday Night Astronomy Show at gmail.com. And we're gonna put them all together as a list and maybe we'll do something with all those afterwards. all
And let's see what
challenges.
happens.
Yeah,
How do
Okay.
we get out of this? Get out of this here.
Yeah.
How do I get out of this? Stop sharing. Bing.
that's it.
There we go.
Awesome. Okay, good idea. So that's gonna be our lunar challenge now of the week. And we can get one each week, of course, because we got 4 phases of the moon to go through, so.
Well, we'll see if we get people on board to show us what they found.
Yeah,
That'd be
it's
awesome.
always a pleasure to learn about them, for sure. Different areas. We did have a couple of questions here, I think. Paul, getting back to what you were showing there earlier. What was the resolution of the image that you had gotten? Do you know?
What was the resolution?
Of the image of the picture that you showed?
I'd have to look it up. I
Okay,
don't know. When it would depend like the resolution for those images are usually 6144 by, just a sec, I'll tell you. Give me 1 second here. I'll tell you in 1 second. Profile.
While you're doing that, I'm gonna get the photos. up there.
6248 by 4176. So that would be pixels, but that was before I cut it down. So when it was actually cropped from a full framed image, then that resolution would have gotten, like the amount of pixels would have gotten smaller. The resolution didn't change, it was just cropped, but it's still
Okay.
the same resolution. So yeah, so that's a 26 megapixel monochrome camera that was used to capture that image. And then when it was printed, it would have been sized up, which is something that they do in printing.
Okay,
So, how that changes resolution there, but hopefully that answers the question.
okay, awesome, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to some photos then. Hang on.
And if
Okay.
I could,
Mhm.
before we finish, I want to show a photo that I actually got things working.
Okay,
So I'm working on the wall in Cygnus.
oh, okay.
And anyway, I got a couple of the hydrogen alpha subs already, so.
Do you want to bring that up now or?
After
Okay,
you've done your pictures, if you.
okay, sounds good, all right.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's share some photos here that are sent in this week. On my red screen here. Make sure this one, I guess. Are we up there, guys?
Yeah.
Okay, the first photo up, yeah. Okay, we got Kathy Adams here then. First of all, Jupiter at opposition. She says, hi, Chris. Though the 26th did not look too promising during the day for any captures of Jupiter at opposition, a window opened up early evening and stayed that way till about 9:30. Now the scene was still below average, but Jupiter was up there shining bright and I was able to get an image. So here we go, Jupiter opposition. Nice.
Very nice. They're getting better, you know. Every time I see these planets that all the folks that are doing with Mike's group there, it's just, man, they're getting so good.
I saw lots of pictures out on the internet of Jupiter at opposition too. It was really pretty this year, very close again, of course, 59 years, closest it's been in 59 years. Here's another image that Kathy sent, I got from Kathy. Anyway, September 30th with the 4 moons, Io, Ganymede, Callisto, and Europa.
That's cool.
Nice, huh?
Yeah.
The 4 Galilean moons, 4 to 79, I guess. And got another capture here of Mars, what she's done
There you go.
there. So some nice detail of
good.
Mars.
Mars is going to be at its best around December the 6th, I think.
And also at that time too, I think on the 8th, the moon is going to eclipse Mars.
That's
Oh,
right.
that's
Going to occulted, sorry, pass in front of it.
Oh, yeah, it'd be cool to get photos of that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I guess if you're on Mars, it would look like an eclipse. Anyway, okay, let's go from there to Mr. Brad Perry.
Oh,
Some of
nice.
These ones.
Oh, very nice.
He says, hi, Chris, I have a few photos to share with you this week. Two are of some surprise aurora on Monday, the 26th. So now I was out with a couple of friends, patiently waiting for the clouds to clear so we could observe Jupiter on its big night, when my phone suddenly buzzed about a KP5. I didn't realize there would be any aurora that night, but of course I abandoned Jupiter to start shooting north. I included a second photo because there was a band of deep red, which I'll bring up here, that was almost all the way to the west of something I hadn't witnessed before. That is different. And I saw what that's called. It was up on Space Weather page. Brad, if you go to spaceweather.com, they got a post about this reddish tinge that we see here. Great shot. So
Yeah, beautiful.
and then this third one here is the Milky Way. On Thursday, the 29th, taken just a bit north of Mactaquac. So I recently got a star tracker, and this was my first really good opportunity to try it out. I'm very pleased with the image quality upgrade. Sure, it's a beautiful, beautiful image.
Nice,
Nice,
very nice.
really nice.
Yeah, nice reflection in the water, and it's interesting. It takes the water to show the color of the stars really well like that.
It does, yeah, yeah, that's true.
'Cause
Yeah,
it separates, like it kind of bloats them out.
right,
You really see the color in the stars. Unbelievable, just beautiful.
very nice.
Yeah.
Thanks for those, Brad. Okay, gonna go to Matthew to pray next. Matthew sent this one in. He said, "Hey, Chris, hope the event at the Urban Nature Park went well." It did, of course. Sure did. I guess we had almost 300 people there show up. He said, "This is my submission for the week. Seeing was not the best that last night, but I ended up getting this shot of Jupiter and Io with its shadow. Look at that. There it is.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Just above the Great Red Spot. So
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
is too. Look,
Well
there's a
done.
Great Red Spot, and you got Io and its shadow both. I was hoping somebody was going to get that shot.
That's
I knew that was going to come up. I think I mentioned it on the last What's Up talk. And there it is. Yeah. The Great Red Spot, Io, and its shadow. Cool.
Yeah, he's been getting some great shots.
He has been. Yeah. Great. Awesome. Thank you, Matthew. Thank you for that, Matthew.
Well done.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to go from there to Carol Bean. Carol says she got this in Jupiter and its 4 moons on Monday night.
Nice.
Awesome.
Nice. And this one, she said, I tried to shoot the Milky Way tonight, she said, but clouds moved in. However, here's Sagittarius, right there, yes. Some clouds and some Milky Way taken at the boat launch in Milltown, looking
That's a
towards
nice
the International Bridge. Nicely
Beautiful.
done.
Yeah. I like the clouds like that myself.
I do too, yeah. There's some. And here's your moon from last night.
Oh, right on.
Nice. Yeah.
Nice. Hold on.
Nice phase, eh?
Yeah, lots of detail there for sure. Thank you for those, Carol. We're going to move over to Renat now. Renat sent this one in, just the moon rising in Back Bay tonight, she said.
Oh,
There she
yeah,
is,
good
yeah.
There you go.
Beautiful.
Did I hear correctly? A 10th planet now? Well, I'm not sure.
Well,
Yeah,
the
they brought
second
Pluto
one
back.
Talk a little bit?
Did they re-enlist Pluto
Maybe.
and add another one?
Anyway, got that. Thank you for that, Renat. Pick that up. We got this one from Joey Croswell. Joey says, this is my first ever try at imaging Jupiter.
Nice
Besides-
shot. First
besides-
try.
All of that. That come out really nice.
He said, besides the session that I deleted, he deleted his data by mistake, or I guess.
Yeah.
I said, fairly happy with these edits, perhaps a little bit over processed, but you know me, if a little is good, then a lot must be great.
There you go.
Still turned out great. Good job, Joey. Now I'm gonna go to this shot here from Mr. PFO Observatory.
Oh, the black and white one.
Yeah. Sunspot the other day.
Yep.
And there's the image from Soho, right? So.
Yeah.
Yeah. So very similar.
Yeah. Just a
Yes.
difference in brightness is about it.
There's this
That's-
Mike's shot of the city with bright Jupiter.
Yeah, we went down to get the fireworks that night.
Right, yeah,
Just Jupiter over the city looked pretty cool.
it did.
Yeah, nice.
Really bright, and then that wasn't even like sunset was just happening, I guess then, so
Yeah.
it's still really bright. And fireworks, of course, coming over the city with for the 3 millionth visitor to our city. Just
That was a good set of fireworks. There was a lot of people.
There was, yeah. They turned out really well. I think somebody was mentioning though that the wind was blowing in the wrong direction and all the people on the cruise to cover the smoke. We were doing it for them, but all the smoke drifted right over top of the cruise ship, like half the
Oh,
cruise
did
ship
it
was covered in smoke. Whoops. Next time we'll set them farther away. Okay, thanks, Mike. And this one from Mr. Owen here.
Oh,
That's gorgeous,
Yeah,
Paul.
yeah, it is. These are the fleeting moments, he says, that connect us to our amazing world. Many never see them. That's true, but many don't, and they should.
Yeah. It's funny when we're floating down the water and this is coming up and we're sitting there because we're floating past, quite a few houses that are on the river.
Hmm.
And even the people on the river aren't up. And we're saying, people are missing. This happens almost every day.
It does, yeah.
And people don't get up early enough to go out and see
Oh.
this. It's so you have to kind of be there. I think, Mike, you've done it before because you've been
Oh, yeah.
on the water and in boats. But there's just something about being on the water at that time of the day as the sun starts to come up and the life starts to happen. I can't even describe it. But
I was gonna say, there's no real words for it. It's
no,
just-
the picture can tell a better story than I can.
but you can feel it.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Awesome job, Paul. Beautiful.
Thank you.
I'm going to congratulate Robert here on another Earth sky photo.
There you go.
That picks up
Yes.
on their website. So this is from your nature park. the other night when we were down there. So great shot, Robert.
Congratulations, Robert.
Yes,
Yeah, very nice.
well done. And he got the moon here in a full shot from the nature park as well.
There you go.
There you go.
And no clouds.
No clouds, yeah.
Yeah, surprising, eh? That was wonderful.
Unreal, unreal. Go buy that lotto ticket. Okay, we've got this one from Miss Kimmy Williams. She said, my friend in Edinburgh, United Kingdom, her daughter took this picture with her cell phone. And last night he gave me permission to share it. So there we go. There's Jupiter and its moons.
Wow,
Cool. Nice shot of the moon.
yeah.
She's looking up. That's what matters.
That's
That's
a
all.
good
Yay.
talent.
And not a bad shot at all. Oh, okay. I'm gonna,
Very nice. That's yours, Chris?
yeah, go back to that shot again because I got to talk a little bit more. She's not the best, she says. However, I feel for cell phone pictures, they are awesome. Shows us just how big and bright they really are. So, yeah, so that was my shot. I was leaving the house. I was heading down to, I think it was a superstore or something, up a couple of groceries, and I drove by and I go, whoa, what's that? I pulled into the parking lot where the new moving places in Milledgeville.
Yeah. A double rainbow, eh?
It was a double,
Yeah.
yeah. Ended up being the double. Yeah.
Fantastic.
So,
You
That's
gotta
funny. That
look.
was on Wednesday. I didn't even know it rained. I stepped outside and went, what?
Yeah, I've seen a few pictures pop that after it had already happened. I thought, wow, that's quite a sight.
As a matter of
Yeah.
fact, I had a lot of people that sent in images. Can you guys see this okay?
Yeah.
Something says
Yeah.
rainbows here in the front. Okay, so I'm just gonna take a second and put this to full screen. I think we can do it here. A lot of people sent me in their photos, so I just kind of put the little collage together. Oh, hang on. I don't know if I'm sharing audio. Can you hear the audio? Yeah,
I can't hear it yet, but I can certainly see it. Oh, there we go.
you can see it or can't? Okay, hang on. Let me stop
See
sharing.
it? Yep.
Let me stop sharing again. I'm gonna go back to.
Okay.
Bear with me. Again, we're learning from Lunar, learning Zoom as we go. I think I just have to go here and there. I can share my sound. Just let me share that screen again. Okay, let's try it again. I should be able to do sound. Yes, hear the sound?
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, short and sweet.
Oh, very
That's
nice.
a lot of pictures.
Yeah.
I love the sound.
Yeah, it's kind of neat. There's a video editor on Microsoft that allows you to do that. Anyway, it was amazing that I just put up a picture saying, "Oh, here's a rainbow." I kind of like rainbows, and all of a sudden people just started adding a bunch of pictures of the rainbows. So it's great when you get participation back like that again. It's
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kathy says she's out shooting Jupiter right now, so we'll see that one next week.
oh, awesome. Okay. Oh, I want to mention this as well. So I'll share my screen just one more time. Yeah, it's just one, I guess. So just the fact that we have our Sunday Night Astronomy show. Here's the address to send them into. So SNAS at astronomybythebay.ca or Sunday Night Astronomy Show at gmail.com. Now remember to send your pictures about the Lunar Challenge in there as well. Or any photos that you have, we'd love to share them, as you can see. So please send them in. We'll put them up on our next program.
That'd be awesome.
Okay.
Always great to get that.
See if I can share that picture for you.
Yes. Okay.
Let me know if you can see it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So this is, I'll put it back to 21%. 25 will do, I guess. So this is the Cygnus Wall. Everybody shoots it, but I've seen a couple of photos of it lately. This is just hydrogen alpha, is why it's grayscale at the moment. But I'm going to shoot hydrogen alpha, sulfur 2, and oxygen 3, and I'm going to do this in a narrow band because I've never done it in narrow band. So it's going to be quite interesting, but you can see, I'll just pop it up to say 50%, and you can just kind of take a look around, and there's just like so much detail in this part of that nebula. And this is one of the reasons why a lot of people shoot this, is because there's so much to look at on this. And this is just okay. It's only grayscale right now, and there's only one sub. I'll lighten it up a little bit. You probably see it a little better, but
Hmm.
but in any
Nice.
event, it's going to be like that's the full size frame there. So this is pretty much filling the frame. So when this is done, the resolution on this will be just amazing. I can't wait to get it done. It almost looks like an eagle to me. This looks like the eagle's head and the wings,
Oh, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And the tail in the back here.
Dark tail, yeah.
Yeah, that's what it's always looked like to me, but everybody's got their own thing and how they.
Where'd you say that was, Paul?
What's that?
Where's that at?
Where is it? It's the tip of. Oh, okay, you're joking.
You could also call it the Turkey Vulture Nebula.
The turkey vulture nebula. Yeah, that's right.
Well, the Eagle Nebula's been taken, so.
It has.
True enough.
That to me looks more like an eagle than the other one does.
Yes. Awesome. We'll see the results of that next week.
Yes, it'll be the first one I've done in a long time. So
We'll share it in the photos next week. Okay. All right. Well, then, so yeah, anyway, let's talk about next week's show because we're going to start mentioning what is coming up in the following week. Excuse me. So next week's show, the telescope has been around for about a few hundred years now. So what do we know about its development? Next week, Paul will reveal some of the fascinating information surrounding the history of telescopes. Should be a great topic for discussion. So then in closing tonight, we'd like to thank you once again for your continued support of our efforts here. Our special thanks once again, of course, to Rosanna for her continued contributions to our program. Thank you, Rosanna. We really do appreciate your contributions every week. We also hope that those of you who have joined us from Rogers enjoyed the program. If you'd like more information about the wonders of the night sky, you can find me at astronomybythebay.ca. Also, a special thanks to all of you who shared our program. We really do appreciate that as well. Remember, too, we do love getting your photos, so send them into SNAS at astronomybythebay.ca or Sunday Night Astronomy Show at gmail.com. We'll be happy to include them in our next broadcast. Now, if you have suggestions for a topic for a future show, please let us know at the same address. And please let your friends and family know as well that we will be back here next Sunday night at 8 p.m. on YouTube and Facebook to entertain you on astronomy and the wonders of the night sky. So for now then, from Mike and Paul and I, please wish you a very safe and happy week coming up. Sorry. Lots and lots of clear skies. And as we like to say, guys, open your eyes to view the skies and keep your scopes pointed up.
yeah.
Good night, everyone. Thanks for joining us.